Well, hello everyone. This is CB Smallwood, and welcome to Mental Junk Food, the place where we talk about all things comics, sci-fi, horror, fantasy, pop culture, and everything in between. And today we're going to be talking about Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Amongst Thieves, a really good movie that came out here recently. I'm not saying it's going to be the greatest movie of all time. It's going to be right up there with the top 10 most awesome, well done movies of all time. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying it is a good movie. Come on, guys, you should have watched it. I know, you didn't watch it because if we take a look quickly at the box office numbers, grossing anywhere from $202 to $208 million. When it cost $150 million to make, so that's like a $50 million profit. It doesn't really add up, and it's not really a $50 million profit because there's probably marketing and a lot of hidden cost that goes into making these movies, and so they may have actually went in the hole making this movie, and it was meant to be this big, huge blockbuster type of movie. So what happened? I mean, if we take a quick look here from Conquest Collectibles, I think that's what it's called. I had to pull this footage up from YouTube from this wonderful channel. Please subscribe to them, by the way, because I just wanted to show you the plethora, the extent of Dungeons and Dragons merchandise. It was just everywhere for this movie. You go in Books A Million, go in Walmart, Target. It doesn't matter. Probably a gas station for all I know. Go in your Rite Aid or Walgreens. You would find, most assuredly, somewhere in some corner, some facet, one way or another, some type of Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves merchandise. There was like toys galore about this movie. And I don't even know if the toys sold well, honestly, because there was nobody that watched the movie to really drive the sales for the toys, other than how the toys just looked sitting on the shelves. There was a few cool ones, obviously, as with anything when you got that much merchandise, but there's probably a lot of stuff that was just like, what the heck is this, And when you got things on the shelf like these nostalgia toys like He-Man and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Transformers, it's hard to compete, and especially when you got these newcomers going around, such as Minecraft toys, which that's not quite newcomers, but you get what I'm saying. Hopefully, Fortnite and a lot of stuff, a lot of competition on the shelves. So anyway, that's not the point. I think the makers of this film really expected this to be a big hit, and it was a gigantic flop. So how did we get here? How did we get to this point to where it lost money potentially? Well, I'm going to tell you. I believe it was two things. One was the trailer. Now, the trailer that you're watching is actually pretty good compared to the one that I watched that they played over and over again on social media and various streaming devices or what have you, or streaming channels. And because I ain't got no TV, I don't watch TV. Does anybody still watch TV? I don't. I mean, I pretty much watch everything through streaming. I pick and choose what I watch. I like those options. But yeah, they really did a huge marketing push for this movie. But I feel like the first trailer that they started out with was the wrong one. For some reason, I just remember Chris Pines, the guy that was in all those Star Trek movies that got rebooted, that were pretty good, but they weren't really Star Trek in the traditional sense, but they were just basically Star Wars movies dressed up as Star Trek. But anyway, regardless, those were good movies, just in a different way. And Chris Pine played Captain Kirk. But anyway, that's not the point. The point is this guy's running around being chased by a dragon, and that was kind of like the shtick of it. It kind of looked a little bland. But then you look at the trailers that's been playing in the background of this video. It's like, well, that's a big improvement, but we didn't. I don't think a lot of people got to see the new trailers. They just saw this stuff. And then I think the second thing that hurt the box office for this movie was internet critics, was YouTube personalities and critics. Just basically hearing rumors or creating rumors and innuendo. I don't know. Just making assumptions like, that basically that one of the biggest ones was all these guys were girly men. They were cucks, for lack of a better word. They they were emasculated. I don't know. There's a lot of different terms that got thrown out there. And I tell you, having watched the movie in theaters, it was a great movie. And also, I didn't get the sense that these guys were emasculated in any way. I felt like if there was any type of femininity to any of them, it actually served the story in a meaningful way. It didn't really degrade them, their characters whatsoever. It's hard to explain. You have to watch it. I don't feel like the genders in this movie were pitted against each other in a sense like, I am this gender, so I am greater than you. There was none of that. It was just everybody was just equal in their own way. They brought something to the table in their own way. All these characters individually went through their character arcs and stuff like that. Most of them, or many of them, went through a change. Not all of them, but I felt like they kind of changed from how they started to where they ended up. So there you have it. It was a good movie. I don't want to spoil it for you, but if you like Smokey and the Bandit, I feel like you should like this movie too. I'm just saying. And you don't have to be a person that's really heavy into wizards and elves and mages and all this other stuff to enjoy this movie. You really don't. And so I recommend it. But I do feel that the internet critics really pooed on this movie without having watched it. And I understand, a lot of people's got their YouTube channels and they're trying to put content out there. I get that. And I know that there's been a lot of bad movies and bad TV shows and just a lot of bad in general. But sometimes things can run amok. And a good movie like this one kind of gets thrown under the bus when it didn't really need to. And unfortunately, I don't see the likelihood of this movie actually getting a sequel, which I would watch. It probably wouldn't be as good, honestly, because usually anytime anything has any good momentum, people with a lack of talent latch on to creative properties and run them into the ground. So maybe we got saved from that. But anyway, yeah, it was just everywhere. You have to search for these videos now on YouTube. All the criticisms. Just type in, Dungeons and Dragons is going to fail or flop, and you'll see what I mean. But me personally enjoyed the movie. I think you enjoyed the movie too. If I was to give this a rating right now off the top of my head, I'd give it 8 severed hands out of 10. 10 being the best. So I'm giving it a 8. An 8 is pretty solid. To me, anything that's above a 5 may be worth buying, to adding to your video collection. For those of you that actually still do that sort of thing. So, just a word of caution to all you critics out there, just be aware that, people listen to you and it does have an impact, I think, having a crappy trailer to start with didn't help things. I mean, it wasn't a god-awful trailer, but it wasn't great either. And then you have all these internet critics piling on, basically saying that, this is going to be the type of movie that you're not going to enjoy, further reducing the likelihood of people watching it. Yeah, I mean, do you agree with me or disagree with me? What did you see? I mean, did you notice all the toys that were just everywhere in all these different stores and all the merchandise and all this other stuff? Do you get the sense that it was going to be a big thing too, or do you disagree with me about this? Let me know in the comment section down below. And also, I am really trying really hard to get to 1,000 subscribers. It would really tickle me pink. It's getting close to my birthday, so I'd really appreciate a nice birthday present of subscribing. And listen, it doesn't cost you a thing. I promise I won't try to inconvenience you or tell you how to think. And if you enjoyed this video, hit like. And as always, you fine folks out there, I will see you in the next video.